So we're here nearby Cappadocia. Istanbul is about an hour's flight from us, and in April, Crossroads 2025 is going to be happening. And in order to be able to give you the best itinerary possible, I'm here with Ibrahim Bey, who's agreed to talk to us and tell us a bit about the history and the rich geography of the area. So Ibrahim Bey, with your permission, I want to start with perhaps the easiest question of them all. It's very, very cold in December. When is the best time to come to Cappadocia to visit?
The best time is April, May.
April, May, okay.
Or September, October.
And in terms of proximity, we're sort of in the middle of Anatolia here. People can fly here from Istanbul, but do you have also guests from other parts of the country?
Of course. We have fly from Antalya, from Izmir. I mean, we are in the middle of the Turkey. We are almost 5-6 hours by car to everywhere.
And by plane?
By plane, 1 hour.
Pretty much everywhere is 1 hour.
Everywhere is 1 hour by plane.
Yeah. So we really want our guests to come here when they visit us. April 25th is going to be our conference in Istanbul. And we want them to sort of be able to come here and in 1 or 2 days stay in your lovely resort and experience this part of the country. I know most people come here for the hot air balloons.
Right.
But what else can people do here?
Horseback riding, hiking in the valley. If you hike 20 days, you will see every day something new. ATV tour, I mean, if you like cultural tour, you know, homemade cooking course in the village house. When is the harvest time of the apricot, you know, July. If the guest likes, you know, picking the apricot with the local people. Harvest time of the apple, grape. Harvest time of the grape is September.
I want to ask you about the very rich history of this part of the world. I know that money was sort of invented not too far from here. So we earlier today saw some churches that were carved into the stone between the 8th and 9th centuries. I want to ask you about money in that time in history. Do you know what type of money, what type of currency was used? 2,000
years ago, Roman money. Roman people has been live here. 1,000 years ago, Byzantine money, and Selçuklu, Ottoman. It's a lot of history. Even 4,000 years ago here, Hittite, Lycian, Phrygian, and Roman and Byzantine was living here. It's a very, very long history here.
Loads of different types of currency have been used over the years. Yeah. And you can see also different elements of culture and history as well. So I know that there's Christian churches and places of worship, of course. There's mosques around here. Are there any other specific historic, cultural landmarks that you can point to that we should visit?
It is all Christian Orthodox history. There is not very many other, you know. 1,000 years ago, here was, Cappadocia was a monastery, or the Christian Orthodox monastery. They educated priests here and they sent it everywhere of the world, even to the China.
Wow.
If the Cappadocian Christianity wouldn't be so large,
so widespread
in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of significance for the Christian faith.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask you also, again, going back to the churches that we saw that were carved into the stone, how does that actually happen with the fairy chimneys? Yeah, how does that work? How does that happen?
You know, the volcano, Erciyes mountain, it's exploded. Even here is the volcano exploded here from underground. And this cave, this rock has happened like that. And here was under the water, completely. When the water is getting away, this valley, for example, it was a soft part of the rock and became canyon valley like this. And then the strong part of the rock is kept standing. The head is protected that from snow, from rain. So it's happened, the fairy chimney.
Wow, so actually your resort as well is partly volcanic stone?
Volcanic, yes, yeah.
Oh, and is that why it's easy to sort of carve it out and make settlements and houses inside?
Yeah. It's easy to carve, even with the chisel. It's not like a basalt, you know, it's soft.
That makes a lot of sense.
And it is warm in winter and cool in this summertime. It's always 18 degrees in the cave.
That's good for all our North American and European tourists who can't handle the heat.
That's why all the people is carved and lived in the cave, because it's warm in winter.
That makes a lot of sense. And looking at the map earlier as well, I saw there was some underground settlements, like almost a whole city.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about the history of that?
The underground city, they carved because Roman and Byzantine, they had a lot of fight with each other. Roman believed to do many gods, and Byzantine believed one god, Christianity. They had a lot of fight. The Byzantine hid it from the Roman to the underground city. That's why they carved underground city.
And they were living underground? Or
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Even
crazy.
They had the food and everything in the underground city. They could live 6 months without going in and out.
So it's mainly about protection. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the Ottomans, I guess the third biggest empire that arrived here. When did that happen roughly?
11th century. I mean, before 11th century, Turkish was here also in this area, but there was minority, little, it's not very many. After 12th century, Turkish came here more and more, and they lived together.
Speaking of living together, we've spoken about the history, we've spoken about the money as well, we've spoken about the sort of religious footprint in the area. A lot of people want to come to Turkey for the food. There's amazing food here. So what type of food can you recommend in this part of the country?
Pottery kebab is the best.
Yeah, what's the Turkish name, so we can Google it?
Tasty kebab.
Tasty kebab, and that's cooked in a clay pot, I think. What type of meat is in that?
It's cow. A little bit, we recommend a little bit sheep meat in between. But European people doesn't like the sheep meat.
Okay.
That's why we cook in the pottery cow.
Perfect. So when we come back in April, hopefully we're gonna visit you. I heard that the balloons unfortunately aren't working now in December and probably in January as well with the temperamental weather. But do you think in April, beginning of May, the balloons are going to be working?
2 days is not flying, it's windy. But generally, April, May, the weather is quiet.
Perfect. We're looking forward to it. I want to say thank you so much for making time to talk to us today. Thank you for enlightening us about the history and the culture, and hopefully see you in April.
Pleasure for me.
Thank you.